Well, hello again, fabulous friends, and welcome to another Flesh and Blood, maybe, magic, maybe, a whole bunch of things video. All right, it is a Q&A video that you guys have selected the questions for, so hopefully we'll have a little bit of fun with this. And you're seeing me as a little bit of a more close-up today because I've changed the background. You'll need to be seeing things here that have to do with some of the questions. Anyway, you have submitted a total of 16 questions. We will do this in two parts. Today, I am all alone without Josie, basically, for the questions that pertain just to myself mostly. And we will have another Q&A video coming up where Josie will be with me and we will be answering those questions that have to do with both of us, sometimes personal, sometimes not so personal questions. Anyway, you'll see about that. So I have the list here of all the questions and we will, without any further ado, get going. Oh, by the way, just one more thing. Thank you very much, all of you, for being subscribers to the channel. We have hit our 1,400 mark and that's very encouraging. We're on our way to 2,000 and that's so much fun to see. So thanks a lot to all of you for being faithful out there. All right, so question number 1 I received from Timmy T. Can you walk us through your MTG collection a little? And what is your strategy? You seem to try and get complete sets in binders. In fact, that's one of the reasons why I changed my background a little bit here. You can actually see that the answer to your question is yes, of course. The first thing I do when a new set comes out is that I collect the cards. I make sure I have every single card of the set. And basically, yes, I do try actually to get a full play set of 4 cards each, but I don't go bananas with the 4 cards of each. I just make sure that I have at least one of each. And now that we have collector boosters, I actually make sure, try to get 2 foils and 2 regulars of each and every card. But I guess I'm going to get into that more specifically and more in depth in another video where I actually show you the ins and outs and actually the details of my magic collection. But I just wanted to answer that question very briefly for you. So that is my strategy, and that's before I even collect any sealed. I just make sure that, you know, how I collect everything, both singles and sealed product. So I do make sure that I have every card first of all, and then I try to get maybe 2 or 4 boxes of sealed, whether that be bundles or collector boosters, draft boosters. Now they have set boosters and so on and so forth. So that's the preliminary idea of my strategy, Timmy. I hope that answers that question for now, but we will go and have an in-depth look at the collection in a subsequent video, all right? Now, question number 2. How long have you been collecting and what is your most prized piece? Okay, well, I've been collecting ever since I can remember. I was a very young kid, actually, and I was collecting already matchboxes. That was the first thing I can remember. And my father used to travel a lot, so I'd go with him during the summer breaks, you know, off of school. And we'd go into these motels, right? And they had these little soap bars, very tiny. So I'd start picking those up everywhere I went, and I collected soap bars. And then it went to collecting coins, actually, the Canadian collections, so Canadian coins of pennies, 5-cent pieces, 10-cent, 25-cent, and so on and so forth. And then I collected also stamps. I started that in 1977 as I was 11 years old. I've also, you know, eventually with time, as my wife and I started traveling, collecting all kinds of other items that I won't start getting into. But one of the things that we've discovered was wine in 1993 in a trip to France. And we started being wine collectors, and we've amassed now our wine collection. I'll get back to that in another video, because again, the answer about your most prized piece, I want to do that with Josie, going through each and every one of our collections a little more specifically, and then telling you for each one what is the most prized piece of that collection. All right. So, and then obviously the TCGs, obviously Magic, The Gathering, and most recently Flesh and Blood. So I guess collecting is in me, whether it's, and now we have playmats. So I started, you know, I have maybe 10 playmats now from Flesh and Blood. I try to collect everything I can get my hands on, and I'm not a, you know, how I said before, a typical, I don't do it to invest so much as to just own the product and have fun owning a collection and playing in the collection. But I will get back to the financial aspect of that, because there is some interesting factors that get involved very often, as you know, when it comes time to collecting different items. All right, so that's a short answer to question 2. And most of these questions actually have given me ideas to make other videos that you will be able to watch and find out a little more about ourselves, about us, Josie and I. So, you know, we'll get into that more in depth eventually. So let's move on to the next question. Question number 3. Oh, by the way, and that was a question by Gambit Rogue. Sorry, Gambit. I wanted to mention that you had asked that question. So question number 3. That is from Hoseby. Oh, Hoseby is from Australia, by the way. I was only able to find 1 box of first edition Monarch. Should I keep it as an investment or open it? Now, I briefly answered that question during an opening before, but I would say that, to me, the very first thing you do, if you do not own the collection as singles in the first place, you start by opening your booster box. You know, for me anyway, collecting the singles, as I just mentioned in question number 1, is most important. So I will gather up that part of the collection, and most of the time I've noticed that whether it be magic boxes or Flesh and Blood, you do get quite a good chunk of the collection by opening 2 draft boosters, well, 2 draft booster boxes, I should say. So, for example, when I opened Alpha of Welcome to Wraith and first edition of Arcane Rising, I only opened 2 boxes of each. You know, Unlimited, I've opened a ton, like 20, 25 boxes of each. I mean, that's not a problem. It's the price value here is not the same thing. And you see, I'm missing in Welcome to Wraith first edition, or Alpha, I should say, I believe 22 cards. In Arcane Rising, I'm missing 18 cards total. And obviously, those are the rarest cards. But as you can see, 90% of the cards were obtained through opening 2 booster boxes of each. Now, once that is done, only then will I think of actually getting involved, going any further, and starting to collect the sealed version of that product. So if you just have 1 box, to me, no, you don't keep it for an investment. You play with your cards, you have fun with your cards, you open them, and you make sure you have the singles collection before you do anything else. So that is my view of how I see it, Hoseby. And maybe, well, you guys, by the way, after watching this video, comments, right? Let me know what you think, how you do it, like how you see things, and what you think of my way of doing it, if you will. All right, so question number 4. From Ryan Bell, what is your vision of where Flesh and Blood could end up? In other words, how many years do you think the game will last? Well, this will be a fabulous question, actually, to have a whole video on this also, because I am going to give you in a few videos my personal report card, a report card that I'm creating for Legend Story Studios in 10 points. So I'll give them a mark, a note, you know, a ranking out of 10 for each of these 10 points, and let's see how they do on a percentage-wise, overall on 100%. So this is a fun thing that we're going to do in a few more videos. I'm preparing that. So my report card. And okay, so all that is tied into what is your vision of where Flesh and Blood could end up. Where do you think it'll be in the 10 years or 5 years or whatever? Well, I think that this game, as opposed to others we've seen recently, has actually an enormous potential, you know. Obviously, you'll have guessed that I think that, and it all depends on a few things. They've done a lot of things right so far, Legend Story Studios, but I want to see them do one more thing very well, and that will determine, I believe, if you know, how it does in 5 or 10 years. But definitely, the potential is there. If they keep doing what they're doing now, I mean, this is a game that is there to stay. And I wouldn't be surprised that just like Magic the Gathering, it would still be there still be here in 20, 25 years from now. So there you go. We'll get more into that. Like I said, most of these questions, I mean, you guys are great, right? I will have other comments to add to these. In standalone videos. Okay, so question number 5 from, that was Ryan Bell. Did I mention it? Yeah, okay, that was not question number 4. Question number 5 from Sizzlestick72. Has Josie always supported your card collecting? Do you have a regular playgroup for Magic, and for how long? Basically, and we'll get back to this in a video with Josie, okay? But basically, yes, Josie has always supported me, not just in card collecting, but in every single matter that we've started out in our life. We're like entrepreneurs also, so we've started businesses, we had clinics, we got involved in a lot of things, and she was always a tremendous support. I mean, she never, even when we bought this house, well, actually it was just a piece of land, I actually bought it and then went back to her at the end of the day. I said, you have to come with me, you have to sign the papers. I just bought a piece of land for our dream house today. So, I mean, she has to be pretty supportive let that go, right? And a whole bunch of other things happened too, but we will talk about that. It'll be more fun as we're sitting down together. So she's been very, very, very supportive. And also I have a second part to that question, which was, do you have a regular play group for Magic? Actually, Magic, I've started playing only about 2-3 years ago, I would say, War of the Spark, all right? And all I've done with Magic basically is participate in pre-release weekends. So, you know, going to LGS stores and basically playing all weekend. They had, let's say, 4 or 5 events over the weekend. So from Friday midnight to Saturday all day, and then Sunday early in the morning. So playing those pre-release events for each set that have come out in the past few years. And in terms of having a play group for Magic, well, I wouldn't say play group, but I play with a few people here and there. We actually, what we do is buy those pre-release sets, and we just, I buy a dozen or so, and I just invite friends, and we just open those boxes and do a 2 out of 3. So that's basically how it's been for me in terms of Magic, because it hasn't, it hasn't been a very long time. And don't forget, the last year we've been in COVID, so with nothing opened here in Quebec, Canada. So, so yeah, that's it for that. Question number 6 comes from Don John. How did you start saying holy smoking beans? Is there an interesting backstory to it, and did it actually involve smoking beans? Ha ha ha. Now that tells you that you're probably smoking some good stuff, my friend Don John, but that's okay. I will still answer your question. Well, actually, one of the things I used to say a lot was, I've always said a lot, was a holy smoke. Oh, holy smoke, holy smoke. So basically, it's how did beans get into that, right? Okay, that's what I need to tell you about. At one point, I posted a video on Reddit, okay? And I was talking about something, and somebody didn't agree with me, okay? And he answered me in the comment section, well, if you believe that, I have some magic beans to sell you. So the word beans stuck with me. And then all of a sudden, at one point, without even realizing it, I said holy smoke and added beans. So holy smoking beans. So that is the story behind it. That's a true story, swear to God. And that's how it came about. Nothing to do with the smoking, as you may, some of you may think. And even some of you now are trying to translate that for me in French. There, Lucien from Edmonton, what was it? So holy would be saint in French, okay? Sainte Bin Fumante, all right? So that's the closest I can get to holy smoking beans. Has much more punch in English, so we'll stick with that, all right? Question number 7 we got from you guys. What prompted you to start collecting? Was it the cards in Magic or the possible financial possibility? Right. Okay, well, actually, basically answered part of that question. That is from Raptor Vernados. What prompted me? I don't know. It was in me my whole life. And as a young kid, anything I got my hands on, I felt like starting to collect it for some reason. And so that's how I started. And anything that fell through my hands, you know, later on in my life, if I thought that it was something that I was interested in, then I got going and collecting right away. So it wasn't really Magic that got me started collecting. It's just having it in me. And the financial possibility, well, what I like about collecting valuable items is, as I mentioned before earlier in the video, it is not my intention when I initially buy something to actually resell it. I just like owning stuff, owning things, collecting things. But I do have in the back of my mind the fact that when you acquire things that have value, then it's a little bit like not putting all your eggs in the same basket, right? We are, Josie and I, big into investing in all kinds of, you know, in enterprises and businesses, stock market, you know, ETFs, basically. I don't know if you guys know what that is, but some of you will, obviously. And maybe I'll do a video on that, like how actually we invest our actual money in terms of, you know, stock market and bonds and so on and so forth, like our percentage splits, and maybe that will interest some of you. But yeah, so it's a bit like not putting, like I said, all your eggs in the same basket. You're diversified, basically. It's diversification, you know. If one day, you know, worst comes to worst, you can sell your product, you can sell your collection, and you will get good money for it. But that is never my intention. I'll probably end up giving them out to my nephews. We don't have kids, so those lucky nephews, we have 9. All right, so, and here they are probably watching this video and telling me, yes, yes, and saying, you know. All right, and by the way, don't go away. There's still one more question. And I do have today a surprise for you, a surprise giveaway, yeah, at the end of the video. So you'll see, that'll be fun. And that'll be right after, actually, I have just one more question left for now. And the others, the longer video will come on that one I will be doing with Josie, because we have a lot of things to share with you and talk to you about, and you know how exchanges go between us. So that will probably be somewhat longer, and we have 8 more questions coming for that. But let's go to the 8th question that you guys had for me, specifically coming from Frostito. What is your oldest set collection and Magic, and can you show it? Well, actually, my oldest set that I have right now is 5th edition, which is, I collected, like I said, started collecting just recently, but I've gone back in time. I have almost everything. Well, I do have everything since in the last 10 years. So with core set 2011, basically onwards, I have everything, and I will show you that later on. But I did go back and buy a few collections from people that were selling, and I did get an entire collection of 5th edition, and that is my oldest collection. That came out in June 2004, if I remember correctly. And again, I have all and every single card in that set. And Frostito, I will show you more precisely by opening the binder and showing you the cards at one point. So many things to talk about on the channel, but there you go. So are you guys ready? So that's it for the first 8 questions. We have more coming on another video, like I mentioned. And now we have for you something very special. Let me just turn on the lights here, going back, and tell you right away what it's all about. All right? All right, so in line with keeping my promise for all of you faithful viewers, here it is. I am giving a surprise giveaway of 3 packs of Arcane Rising, Flesh and Blood, obviously, and one of you will win all the cards in these 3 packs, all right? Now, I will open them, we're going to have a look at them, and you will understand what kind of contest I'm doing afterwards, but what you need to know is that you have to look at these cards. So normally we go very fast through these and look at our prime cards here, premium cards. Spellblade Assault, okay, rare. We have Take Cover and Become the Arknight. All right, that is a super rare foil, by the way. So one of you lucky guys is going to win this card. Let me show you the rest quickly, but you do need to see them. As I said before, you need to know which cards are in these 3 packs in order to win the little contest that we will be going through. So let's open pack number 2 right away. So we've gotten a super rare foil for you. Okay, here are the common cards, 1 to 5. Reduced to Rune Chant, rare. Red in the Ledger, oh my goodness, a Majestic and a super rare we had in this series of 3 packs. Wow, one of you guys is getting really lucky, and Sick'em Shot as a foil, rainbow foil obviously. Now have a look at the rest of these cards. Okay, you will know what's going on here. And pack number 2, we're putting it down over here. And we're opening pack number 3. Oh my goodness, 2 packs, a foil super rare, and a Majestic. What do you know? 3 packs that were special here as a bonus gift to one of you for watching these videos. And by the way, thank you very much for being subscribers. We have surpassed 1,400, as I was mentioning before. Arena's Prayer, Plunder Run, and Sick'em Shot once again as a foil card, and another one again. Let me just finish getting through these. All right, so now you've seen them all, and this is how it is going to work. Now, in my very next video, what I will be doing is that I will be shuffling these cards like so. I will do it again during the next video, okay? Now, you've seen all the cards we have in here, and what I will do after shuffling them is that I will put them down, and I will turn over the very first card, and if it is the card that you guessed, now you need to say, for example, Amplify the Arknight, pitch 1, so Amplify the Arknight red. Tell me in the comment section, however you wish, you know, either pitch 1 or red, Amplify the Arknight. And if you guess the very first card I flip over, all these 45 or 48 cards are yours, will be sent to you in the mail. Now, just in case we have a tie, I want you to give me 2 cards, okay? So you're going to tell me your first pick, okay, well, the first card you think is going to be off the top of the pack. And then just as a tiebreaker, if we have more than one person who got it right, give me a second card. So in this case, it would be Overloop pitch 1 or Overloop red, okay? So you only need, give me both of them, but it's just in case of a tie. So we will make sure that one of you gets all of these cards. And don't forget, there has been a couple of super nice ones in here, a super rare, and of course, red in the ledger, as we've seen. Let me just, Become the Arknight is the super rare foil. There you go. And the red in the ledger was a little further on, I believe. Let's see here. Was it in this pack? Yes, right over here. There you go. Okay, so you get all these cards. Good luck to every one of you for this mini contest. And just one more thing. For the sake of the contest, as you can see here, I have removed all 3 double-sided cards. So those will not be part of the contest. What's left over here is the pack that will be shuffled up and which we will use to turn up the first and maybe the second card if we need to. Well, there you have it. That was today's video. If you've liked, don't forget the thumbs up. Thank you again for being subscribers. And I'm waiting for your comments down there for our mini contest. See what your picks are. And good luck to all of you. We'll have one winner for sure. All right, stay safe out there. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.